Hey, good day everyone. So today we're going to talk about Tank Battle. So unfortunately I actually missed this game. I did hear about this like a week or two ago, but I never really got to cover it. So right now we're going to look into it. Now unfortunately some of the whitelist events have already ended for the game, but still the IDO is coming in the next 4 days in Launchzone, so you can probably participate in that one if you want to get into the game. So you can actually visit the website here and go to the events part. So in the Tank Battle Launchpad, you can actually see what are the upcoming IDO events that they're going to have. So they will have OXBull public sale, which is going to be on January 21 and 22. You can try and participate in it if you want to get into the IDO for that one. They will also have an IDO in Launchzone, but the whitelist and these token airdrop one task are already completed. So if you want to get into it, I guess the only way for you to be able to join in is if you have tokens staked in Launchzone itself. So this is going to happen in Launchzone in the next 4 days. I think, yep, opens in the next 4 days. So try and see if you can still join in if you want to get into the IDO for Tank Battle. So those are the two available launch pads that they will have the IDO implemented. So do take note of that. We're going to look into the game, then later on we'll talk about the marketplace, the roadmap, the teams, the partnerships, and of course the community for the game. So you can see the game playing at the background. So pretty much that is the actual gameplay that you're going to be seeing in the game, and we actually have a demo available which you can also access for you to be able to play the game. So we can try and look into that. So this is a pretty straightforward game scenario. So this is the demo. So there's not much you can do here apart from actually setting up your tanks. So this is the locations where your tanks can be put in. So you can put in, let's say, your heavy tanks up front, because they tend to be the tanks of the tanks. All right, so these ones they call as the support tanks, and these ones are the tank destroyers. This one is actually a very strong tank from what they said. It's very weak, meaning that it can get one-shotted and get destroyed immediately. So what we can do is probably put another heavy in front maybe, so that it can cover it. So the support one probably somewhere here, and we can put everything else in the back line. So you can only put in 5 tanks per fight, so we can just click go. So just bear with me, the sound effects for the tanks firing are quite loud, so we're just gonna go with this. And yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like. Oh my god, it's so loud. I'm gonna lessen the sound down. Apparently I'm winning, because last time I played this I just got wrecked. So I guess the positioning I did is kind of correct. Wow, okay. Guess no kidding, this tank is actually destroying them. Wow, okay, we actually won. So that's it. So that's pretty much how the game will go. So pretty straightforward, nothing really fantastic about it. So basically it's an auto battler, tanks versus tanks type of game. So you can have a maximum of 5 tanks. And the nice thing about it is that you can have modules for the tanks. I don't know if you can customize them though. I'm not exactly clear on that part. So we can go into the white paper here so you can just see what exactly. So here in the white paper you can actually see the different tank classes. So I've mentioned earlier there are heavy tanks, there are medium tanks, light tanks. They have tank destroyer, self-propelled gun, tank support. So these are the different types of tanks that you need to consider, like should you put them up front, at the middle, or at the back. So depending on the task that they need to do, so they can actually perform well during your 1-2-1s with your enemies. Now if you want to collect and upgrade your tanks, there are actually different tank modules available in the game. So you have the track, the engine, the chassis, and the turret. So you need to complete these so you will be able to make up a tank. So in the marketplace we can actually view that here. So currently they are already on sale. So the tank boxes I think are already completely sold out. So all you can do right now is go to the marketplace and try to buy one. Buy one yourself. So you can actually sort these by low to high, and you can actually pick if you want to buy the tank box or you want to buy the mega box if you're feeling lucky, right? But if you're going to look at the prices, they're not exactly that far from the sale before. So it's not a lot of a markup, because tendency is if you try and purchase some of these, the markups are pretty high. So these are like pretty low markups. So that's, I think, pretty decent, less than 50% increase from the actual price in the sale for some of the items. So you can try and purchase them if you want to go for the tank boxes. So you can actually purchase actual tanks already. So some of them might have been able to draw like a complete set tank, which is great. So you can actually buy them if you want to get into these, if you don't want to pick the parts and modules anymore. So you can also filter it by rarity and the different parts or different tank modules that you want to purchase. So just take note that you can have a maximum of 5 tanks, but I'm not exactly sure if you can just participate with like 3 tanks or something. But it's gonna make your life a little bit more difficult, because if your enemy has a full set, then I mean, how are you gonna win against your PvEs, right? So now let's look into the game assets. So just take note, they will have their in-game token, and they will also have their governance token. The governance token is the TBL token, so this is the one that's going to be exchanged. But they will also have what they call as the gold token, which is their in-game currency. So this is what you're going to be earning in the game, which you can actually convert it to TBO token if you want to cash out your earnings. But of course, there are use cases for gold. Let's say repair durability of your tank, you will have to use gold to get that done. Then they also have what they call as gems, but these are only attainable if you are the top 500 players in their weekly rank leaderboard. Then if you manage to collect at least 100 gems, then you can get what they call the gem box, which will actually give you tank modules, tanks, milestones, and get nothing. But anyway, so those are the main items you need to consider. Then they will have in-game features where they have inventory, garage, lab, and farming. Garage is where you actually repair your durability of your tanks. Then in terms of game overviews, they will have PvE, PvP. Then they also have Alliance War. This is kind of like a guild war that they will have in the game. Then they will also have tournaments. Now also take note, in the marketplace, they will eventually have auctions and NFT leasing, which is currently not yet available in their existing marketplace. So let's look into their roadmap. So right now we are in January. So as I mentioned earlier, the IDO is coming in a week or less than a week. So just take note of it if you want to join in. Then on Feb and March, you're going to have the actual gameplay release, Android versions, auctions, renting, and the centralized exchange listing. And on Q2 2022, they're going to have the PvP and ranking, Alliance War, and tournament season, and the iOS version. Let's get into the more important part of the project, which is the actual team itself. Not all of them are fully doxed, so I think only 2 of them are actually fully doxed, which they have their LinkedIn available. You can visit it. So the CEO and the CTO are available. You can also find their AMA sessions in their Discord channel if you want to look into those as well. If you want to hear how the team is working about their project, what their plans are and so on, you can actually try and view it and see if you can find additional information there that would help you make a decision if you want to get into the game or not. In terms of partnerships, they do have quite a number of partnerships. They have launchpad partnerships, which is very important, and they also have other venture capital companies that are actually investing to their project. So I did look into some of them. Again, not all of them are mentioning the game itself. I mean, I think that's already pretty typical for investors. So I guess they're not really updating their websites in terms of portfolio. They're not going to put everything on the table, right? So they're going to mention something like a high profile project probably in most cases, but some of them would actually mention it. So like for CCK Ventures, you can find Tank Battle as part of their portfolio. So you can try and look into some of the other investors that they have here in the list and verify for yourself. And lastly, we're going to look into the community. So community right now in Twitter, they have over 150,000 followers, which is incredible. And looking at their audit, they are at 96%, which is very good. So at least we know that the followers are legit. Then we can also look into their Discord channel, which you can see they are over 87,000 members, which is also great. So community wise, they're also doing very well. And with that, guys, that actually ends my video. So I'm just keeping my video short here just to go through the overview of what the game has to offer. And hopefully this video actually helps you out. And I would highly recommend that you still do your own research before you make a decision if you want to get into the game or not. So with that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And hope to see you again in my future videos. Stay safe, people.